Most of the officers in prison were great. I remember at Wasika, there was an officer that would drive the perimeter, and I walked and walked. I walked so many laps at that prison. And she would yell, "Hey, Louder, walk a few laps for me, will ya?" And then one day she yelled, "Hey, Louder, I love reading your blog. You're a good writer." And I was like, "Aw, so sweet." It was one of the cool things about Wasika. When I got to the prison, I had kind of been kicked out of Dublin because I was a blogger and I was blogging about the prison. And when I got to Wasika, an officer took me in and said, "Hey, I hear that you like to blog about the prison." And I said, "Yeah." And she's like, "Are you planning on doing that here?" And I said, "Probably." And she said, "Okay, cool. Just let people know how good the food is." It was like they didn't care. They had nothing to hide. Actually, they did have good food at that prison in comparison to most prisons. And I found Wasika to be a really good prison. But anyway, so the officers were pretty cool. Like, I remember I worked in the rec yard and there were three male officers that were just solid. They did their job. They didn't bother me. And one day, one of the officers called me into his office and he's like, "Hey, Louder, come sign your pay sheet." Well, I only made $7 a month. Like, I took the job that I took because I wanted to give back, and it gave me the freedom that I wanted to have. If I wanted to make money, I would have gone and worked at Unicorn. You make $1 an hour. But that was like you're working in a sewing factory, and I would have felt like I was in a prison inside a prison. And I was lucky because my sister sent money to kind of help me out. So I didn't need the money. So I just worked the job because I cared. Anyway, he called me in to come sign my pay sheet. And I just didn't go in. The next day when I saw him, he goes, "Hey, Louder, why don't you come in and sign your pay sheet?" And I started to make an excuse, and he goes, "Don't make excuses." He's like, "You're better than that. Just own it." And I looked at him and I go, "Yeah, you're right. I just didn't want to come sign it." And he goes, "Okay, right on." And I really appreciated that. It was like this mutual respect thing, but still firm boundaries. So most of the time I felt like the officers treated me with respect, or there was just like a mutual healthy boundary